Sailing for absolute beginners. A tour of a boat.
Sailing virgins. Yeah.
G'day, I'm Jack.
I'm James.
We're Sailing Virgins. We're here in Montserrat. We've just had a 16-hour overnight sail from St. Bart's, and today we're just going to give you a tour of a sailing boat for an absolute beginner.
So we're going to go from the very front, the bow, to the very back, the stern, and we're going to go right through and show you a bunch of terms because we've been asked this from students before, and so we thought we'd present it in one episode.
So if you've never been on a sailing boat before, or it's been a while, we're just going to give you a little tour.
And then we're going to have a little look around Montserrat. So let's go. Yeah!
Alrighty, let's start the tour of the boat at the bow. The bow is the front of the boat. Down in here, my lovely assistant is going to open the anchor locker. This is where the anchor lives. Now, it has mud all through it because we've literally just dropped the anchor. But here is the anchor windlass. This is what runs the chain up and down. This is like the winch for the chain. Also in here, so you can see all of our chain in there. Also up here, you can see the lines going to the anchor snubber. The anchor chain runs out over the bow roller. That's one more part out here. And the snubber is connected to one of our bow cleats. This guy here is a cleat. This is all surrounded by the pulpit of the boat.
Yeah! So I'll talk to you about the sail. This is the foresail. The foresail is the sail at the fore of the boat. The foresail is handled by the forestay. The cable right in the middle of this is a forestay. Now we have, this is called a furling sail. A furling sail has a furler, this is the furling drum, and a furling line, and that's how you put the sail in and out. So our jib is on a furler. On our foresail, we have the clew, which is the back corner of the sail, and connected to the clew are the jib sheets. This is the starboard jib sheet on the starboard side and the port jib sheet on the port side. They run back to the cockpit to a winch, and the winch helps pull the sail out and trim the sail. Yeah!
Here we have a life raft. They can be stored on many different places on boats, but generally you want them pretty easy to access. So as is up on deck here. Here is the main hatch. These guys, really good tip, do not tread on them, do not stand on them. They're very fragile and very expensive. And always make sure they're closed when you go sailing. Very easy way to get water into the boat. Along the side here, we have the very aptly named jack stays. This is what you connect the leash onto if you're ever coming up onto the foredeck to do any work. This is a spinnaker pole, also known as a whisker pole. This can be used when you're going downwind to push the jib out further to the side, or can be used with a bunch of different configurations with spinnakers, which are those huge, big, billowing, colourful sails that you see on race boats. Here we have the Jib Car, also known as the fair lead. This controls where the jib sheet comes down and meets the deck. Further forward, you're putting more vertical tension on the jib. Further back, this guy further back, you're putting more horizontal tension across the jib.
We've got here guardrails. These guardrails are also known as lifelines. We have here a stanchion. It's nice, still nice and salty from last night's sail. And that holds up these guardrails. Yeah!
These are called shrouds. This is what basically holds the mast up. They hold the side load. And then they run up through the spreaders. They're the bits that go out sideways off of the mast and connect to the shrouds.
We've got what probably everybody knows is the mast of the boat. Fairly important in a sailing boat, that's the mast. We have here the Vang. We go up here, we've got the boom coming out from the mast, and the connection here is the gooseneck. This is the gooseneck. One more thing, you see these everywhere in yachts. This is a block right here. It changes the direction of a line without increasing friction. This is a block. Yeah!
Here we have the sail bag. That's held up by the very aptly named Lazy Jacks. And inside the sail bag, what do we have? Our mainsail. So when the mainsail is raised, that actually holds the boom up. But when the mainsail comes down, what holds the boom up? The topping lift. It's that line from the very back of the boom that goes up to the top of the mast. So that holds the boom up when the sail's not there, and when the sail goes up, you want to have that slack. Otherwise, it's scandalizing the main.
Yeah! This whole area is the cockpit, and we have here a Lazarette, which is a storage locker. We have here Bimini, which provides shade to us, which in our case has UV panels. We have our Dodger, also called the spray hood, and we have just here, all important, the Boathook for dealing with unruly crew and also picking up mooring balls. We have here the Companionway in and out of the saloon downstairs. We have here the bikini dryer, otherwise known as the Winch. This is the piano of jammers or clutches, and opening a clutch would be a case of pushing it forward, and that opens the clutch. We have here a cam cleat. In this case it's looking after the Vang tension, so you can pull on the Vang here and the cleat teeth grab it and pull it back so it's one way, and then to take it off you just pull it up. Talking about the lines in the jammers, on this boat we have the furling line for the jib. We've got the spinnaker halyard. Halyard is a line that lifts the sail up. We've got the main halyard that lifts the main sheet, the main sail up. We've got the topping lift, and we have two reef lines here. And going over here, we've got the outhaul. We've got another reef line. We've got a jib halyard that pulls the jib up. And then we have a pole lift here. And we have a spinnaker halyard that pulls the spinnaker up. The main sheet here, that pulls the boom in and out. Jack's just going to pull that. We also have the wheel, you probably know that. We also have here the traveller, and that with the main sheet helps to trim the main sail. Jack's just going to pull on the other side of the main traveller now. Thank you, Jack. So this controls the backstay tension. The backstay is similar to the forestay and the shrouds. It helps keep the mast up. And on this boat, you can easily control the tension of the backstay.
Here we have our engine controls, how we turn the engine on. And here we have the throttle controlling the revs of the engine. So forwards, put the boat in forwards, neutral, reverse. Yeah! This back section of the boat is called the stern. The back wall of the stern is called the transom. These are called fenders. This is what we put between the boat and another boat, a dock, whatever. We tie them along the lifeline. Here we have our horseshoe with a floating and flashing light in case of a man overboard. And we love our Yeti.
Yeah!
That's the dinghy, and now it's time to go and explore Montserrat. Beautiful.
Just entered the exclusion zone gate with H1629, H1629.
So we're in Montserrat. We've just been given a bit of a tour around the volcano, which sort of went off in '95, and everyone was sort of moved out of here in 1997. So all these houses have just been left ever since and just basically buried from all the erosion up here. It's insane.
Mud just came down at successive times with rainfall, and we can see that building over there, and you can just see it looks like it's two-story, but actually there's 3 stories underground.
So that's what this place used to look like. That's the roof there. Unreal.
Cute. We're in this hotel, and it's all, of course, deserted as part of this whole thing, and the mud's just come in and it's sort of filled it in. The book that they used to record the ledger, and the phone's still there, and yeah, amazing. Would you like to go for a swim? Let's go to the swimming pool. 1, 2, 3. Jump in. Jump in, Jack. There we have it, a tour of Montserrat. Really interesting volcanic history there.
And hopefully you gained something from today, a little tour front to back of a sailing boat. So when you get out on the water, maybe for your first time ever, you've got just a little head start.
So just like the other episodes, really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click like, subscribe, send us any comments, any ideas for future episodes. We'd really love getting them, and we'll make them into episodes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Out.
Sailing Virgins!
Yeah!